Good morning, friends. So I wanted to do a cut crease for you today, as they can be a little bit challenging if you're not practiced at them. So today we're going to do a pink and smoky eye cut crease, and we'll line the waterline I've already done with a white from NYX. So this is just their white Epic Wear pen in white. And that just goes on the waterline, just a light line. I wouldn't do super heavy, just because when I do a super heavy white line on my waterline, it absolutely makes my eyes water. So do what you're comfortable with, and then we'll go ahead and get started. So I'll show you the colors first, and then we'll go ahead and put them on. So on my brow bone up here, I have Dust, you can see here, and then for my crease I have Bing from the Urban Decay Cherry palette, and then we'll go to here, I'll pull them out and show you, and then I'll show them swatched. That'll be easier for me to show you. So here's Dust. Oh, really graceful this morning. There's Dust, really bright pinky shimmer. So this is great for those with pinks or roses in their skin tone. You can always go a little bit darker too if you prefer. And then the rest, that is from the Naked 3 palette, just so that if you don't have it, you can go get it. Because who doesn't need more Urban Decay, right? And then the rest of the colors we're going to be using are from the Urban Decay Cherry Naked palette. This is one that I always keep because I love pinks and bronzes. So then next we're going to use our Bing is going to be our accent and our main color for our crease, and then we'll use Young Love on underneath our bottom lash line. Drunk Dial will be our lid accent, and then our smoky accent will be Privacy. Okay, and I've got them swatched here so you can see how they look, and they're in order of use. So we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll walk you through them as I'm using them, and that way it will be easier to see. I'll tell you the brushes that I'm using as well, because I know for me, I'm a bit particular about the brushes that I use, because if you don't use the bright brush, it's not going to get where it's supposed to go. And I like working from lighter colors to darker colors, and that way I don't have to clean my brush as much, but cleaning your brush in between applications will help you not blend colors that you don't intend to blend. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Dust from the Naked 3 palette. And this one I want to do the light color first, and I'm going to take it from my brow bone, inner corner to outer corner, and this is going to be our under eyebrow accent to help us lighten and brighten. Doesn't have to be super heavy on the application, because again, Urban Decay pigments, one application is enough. Then next we're going to go ahead and do our center application here. You can do the lid first, but I like to do my cut crease, and that way I know where I need to fill with pigment. So for my cut crease, I like using my liner brush. This guy is my best friend, and for any fine detail, this is what I want to use. So for my cut crease, I'm going to be using Bing, and you may, depending on how dark you want your cut crease to be, you may need to redo your brush a couple of times. So this is Bing, this is what we're going to use. And with my cut crease, because I have a hooded eye, I like to take it a little bit darker, and I like to take it a little bit higher so that I can see it. And I'm just getting that outline of where I want it to be. I like a nice rounded cut crease. If you have a more almond shaped eye, definitely follow the shape of your eye. The trick with a cut crease is to follow your eye shape so that it's easy to fill in and you can match it with your liner. We'll talk about that here just a little bit later, but I want to put that in your noggins for right now, because the allure of the cut crease, at least when it started in the 60s and 70s, was that it helped to accent the natural shape of the eye. So following the curvature of your eye is really, really important. So I like that color that I've got there, and it matches my other color. We'll see that with the dark colors I've paired it with, that it will accentuate this dark purple and pull on that a little bit. I chose warm browns to go with this so that they will tie together well. Then I'm going to go back to using my C brush to fill in underneath, and I'm going to go ahead and use Drunk Dial next. This is from the Naked Cherry palette. This one came out, I want to say, like last year around holiday time. And this one, before I go ahead and put it on so you can see, it's this kind of a greeny brown. That's a terrible way to say it. But it gives this warmth to any color that you pair it with. And that's one of the things that I love, because I have warm undertones in my skin, because I have cool tones as an overtone. It really helps when I pair this with other pinks or purples for it to mesh well with my skin. So as you can see, I put that all over the lid there, and I'm following my cut crease line and just giving it a nice coat. Again, cleaning my brush. I'm going to go ahead and use my smaller brush for privacy. I am using the opposite end of the brush that comes with the Naked 3 palette. I really like this brush because it's smaller and great for finer detail, but it's in between the other two that I use, the liner brush and the C brush. I like having an in-between brush, especially when I'm doing a smoky eye or a cut crease, because it helps me accent better. So here I'm going to take this from the edge of my cut crease to the middle of my eye, and then we're going to blend this. So we're just going to make a little triangle here. It's okay if your triangle's a little bit larger, especially with an almond eye. Having that triangle go a little further onto the middle of the lid is a really good idea. And then we're just going to blend. You can blend this a little further into the eye depending on how smoky you want your look to be. And that way, when you open your eye, you'll be able to see how it blends with the shadow. Just make sure that triangle line still isn't there. We want it to be a nice, smooth blend. It just gives us that little extra edge of smokiness. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to our lining our under eye. Now remember, we did line our waterline. I like having this done first because it's one fewer thing I have to do. We lined that with the NYX pencil and white. And so we're going to take Young Love, that's this guy right here, and we're going to line underneath our bottom lash line. Now I like this liner brush to go underneath that, and I like starting here outside of my illumination spot and dragging to the outside. I am a right-handed makeup artist, and so sometimes when I have colors swatched on my left hand, it's a little harder for me to do that. But that doesn't mean that I can't do it. It just means that I don't want to get them on my clothes. And we're just going to make sure that's nicely lined under eye line here. And that way they match with the other eye. Now you can, for this illumination spot in here, I like to do this last after I've done my liner, because sometimes when I do my liquid liner, it will bleed onto that spot, so I'm going to save that for last. If you have a different preference, that is absolutely okay. Again, my favorite eyeliner in the whole world, Urban Decay Perversion Waterproof. Give it a little shake before I put it on, inner corner to outer corner. Now with this one, we're going to do our cat eye a little bit differently today. And I'm going for a little bit thicker of a line today to make sure that we get that nice smoky look that we're looking for. And now, in this case, I'm going to take it up to my cut crease, and I'm going to make a triangle. So, following my cut crease, and line. And then I'm going to fill in my triangle. This is one of those tricks when you first start doing liquid liner, that if you're not particularly experienced at where that should go, and you want to keep your eyeliner even, you can start by practicing a cut crease and matching your liquid eyeliner to where that is. And that will help you a heck of a lot. That's actually one of the ways that I learned to liquid line, and it made my life so much easier. And this is the Urban Decay Perversion Shadow in the waterproof variant. Go ahead and put this on both eyes. And last but not least, we're going to go ahead and illuminate. You can use your brow color, your brow bone color, to illuminate. But what I like to do with a cut crease is I like to use a lighter shade of the cut crease with a little bit of a sparkle. So I'm going to go ahead and use Big Bang from the Naked Cherry palette, and I'm going to go ahead and put that on my Tearduct area. And that way it pulls out a little bit of that pink, and it also pulls out a little bit of that smoky color. And that is my pink smoky eye with a cut crease today. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day.